What do you do when you disagree vehemently with the stock market's judgment? Today, Medtronic, MDT, the gigantic medical device maker, held what I thought was a very positive investor day. But apparently Wall Street felt differently as the stock ended up closing down at 1%. Down 1%. Kind of didn't think that would happen. I mean, here's a company that can't seem to get any respect. For years now, Medtronic stock has been stuck trading between the mid-70s and the high 80s. Right now, it's at 86, down $3 from its highs. Even as the company just reported a fabulous quarter last month, this is driving me crazy. And again, I thought they told a very good story. Don't get it from me, though. Last night, before presenting this story to the public, we got a sneak preview from Omar Ishrak. He's the chairman and CEO of Medtronic. Take a look. Omar, when I think of Medtronic, I think of continuous innovation. I think of invention, and disruption.
Indeed.
And I think about those with the idea that your company has been the best at it. And if you could walk me through some of the things I see on this table for continuous innovation, invention, disruption, I really appreciate it.
Okay, well, thanks for those words. And indeed, technology is what this company is based on. And let me start with the most exciting thing on the table.
Okay.
And that's about disruption.
Okay.
And that happens to be actually the smallest thing on the table. And that's this device, which is a pacemaker. It's called a Micra, and it's a pacemaker that can be inserted through a catheter, and it goes straight into the heart, and it requires, there's instant recovery for the patient, and the battery life is 10 years, and it reduces complications.
Okay, so if I one day would have had to break open the chest cavity, and now I can just have it inserted and be out of the hospital,
Indeed.
How quickly?
Oh, immediately.
Immediately?
Yeah. Previously, you didn't have to break open the chest cavity. There was the generation before this actually was a device like this,
okay,
which is implanted just inside the skin, and then leads went into the heart, and then the leads then would pace the heart.
But something like that.
But this was a generation earlier than that. But the most interesting and part of the story, which I'm really proud of and feel privileged that I'm part of Medtronic, when this device has been invented, is that the company was actually founded with this. And this in 1950 was the original pacemaker. And the founding of the company was based on this device. And here we are, 60 years later, the same company disrupts this industry over and over again until we go from there to there, both the pacemaker, and it's something that we're just incredibly proud of.
All right, so what are some of the things that are being featured at the Analyst Day?
Well, there's a lot more than this.
Sure,
so this is just one segment of our business today. Another area is the spinal cord stimulator. As you know, pain management is a real issue.
Oh boy.
And one of the things that we can do is use the same stimulation technology that's used for the heart to actually stimulate the spinal cord, and through that you can manage pain on a selective.
Okay, well, a lot of the opiate addiction comes from spinal cord injuries. Is this a way to be able to get around that?
Well, on some of them, yeah. On a selected sort of segment of patients, this does do that work. It's still, again, this technology too is fairly early in its deployment. I mean, it's been around a decade or so, but in the journey that we're on, it's still fairly early. But this device is really small.
Okay.
It's one of the smallest there is, and then what happens is that the physician actually has a programmer through which he can manage and track the status of the patient, their activities, and also program this device.
Gotcha.
And then here we have something that's really interesting, which is the diabetes management system. Now,
so is this a glucose monitoring, or is it diabetes? Are they separate?
Well, it's diabetes management through the use of continuous glucose.
You have a pump.
Indeed. So let's take those separately.
Okay.
Let's start with the pump. Recently, we introduced a pump, which was actually the 670G, which is a hybrid closed loop. And what that essentially does is it takes sensor data, continuous glucose data, and based on that data, automatically modulates the insulin delivery through the pump. And so it's something like what we'd call an artificial pancreas.
Oh, okay.
So a patient then is, their management of the disease is automated, and it's much easier for them. So that product, this is the pump.
Okay.
This is the pump, and this is the sensor. And so the pump and the sensor together form this hybrid closed loop.
And is this one of the fastest growing products that you have?
It is indeed. It is indeed. This is one of the fastest growing products. We've got 70,000 patients already under treatment with this, and the feedback has been just fabulous.
Fantastic.
Now, the sensor alone also is a very useful device because everyone doesn't carry a pump. Right. And there are patients who go on multiple daily injections. And for them, too, the sensor can give this continuous glucose data through which they can adjust their insulin delivery in a more intelligent fashion.
Gotcha.
Now, everyone's not going to understand what the glucose reading actually means all the time.
Right.
And so for them to know what to do depends on their habits, what they've eaten, and a number of other things. And what we've also got is a device which, okay.
Well, a Vikings fan. Vikings fan, can you believe it?
We kind of lost that, but we've got an iPhone on which data is shown, and on that data, a patient gets insights regarding their behavior. So, for example, you'll see a graph which shows what their reaction is to eating something.
Okay.
So they've eaten a certain type of meal, and the device will demonstrate that, look, if you eat this, then you follow the same regimen that you've been doing, there's a chance that your sugar will go lower than it should.
Okay.
And so it gives you a historical pattern like that, and these alerts and insights really help you manage your diabetes.
Okay, one last question. Are all of these, the ones that you currently have out, are they, would you say, state-of-the-art, winning share, doing really well for the company?
Absolutely. I mean, these are examples of our leading products. In many ways, these are completely differentiated. They actually fall in the category primarily of disruption.
Okay. Right, because that's what we want. If we get the innovation, we get the invention, we get the disruption, we get a winning stock and a winning company.
Indeed, we do.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank
Omar.
you.
And congratulations on your analyst meeting. That's Omar Ishrak, Chairman CEO of Medtronic, which I think is the stock, as I said last week, that I think should have no problem going from 90 to 100. But this is not a short-term play. It's a long one. Mad Money's back into the race. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.